Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We have breaking news for you this evening. The verdict is in for William Hain. A jury has found him not guilty of helping murder Savannah Greywind. Let's go live to Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley, who is standing by at the Cass County Courthouse in Fargo with more. Bailey.
Andrea, after 9 hours of deliberations, the jury came back telling William Hain is not guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. Now, we've been here for the past 9 days, and prosecutors say that William Hain helped his then-girlfriend, Brooke Cruz, in the murder of Savannah Greywind. Now, Brooke Cruz is already serving a life sentence in the murder of Savannah Greywind, and after we talked with the prosecution, they say this is a disappointing end.
This young, beautiful woman no longer exists. And the people who did this to her, although one is serving a life sentence and one has pled guilty to some other things, how do you ever vindicate that?
Now, Hain is not walking free. He has already pled guilty to a kidnapping charge, which carries a 20-year maximum sentence. And he's also pled guilty to lying to police, which carries a 1-year sentence. Prosecutors say that everything else will be determined at a later date. We'll have more for you on this story at Valley News Live at 6. Reporting live in Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
All right, Bailey, thanks for that live report. A judge has set bail at $750,000 for a man accused of killing his father. 34-year-old Christopher Riley is booked on murder charges. Fargo police say he was arrested at Lindenwood Park around 11 last night. Investigators say he killed Kevin Riley Sr. in a South Fargo apartment last week. Officials say no plea has been entered and his preliminary hearing is set for October 31st at 9 a.m. It sure is chilly out there, but at least we haven't seen this yet in the FM area. Snow in Roseau. The video was taken outside the Bear and Bean Company this morning. Should we expect more of that this evening?
Well, indeed, the radar's not showing a widespread area of snowfall, but I have heard reports that near Thief River and out near the Walker area, a few flakes mixed in, nothing really sticking. It's going to be cold, though. The clouds that were lingering all day in the Southern Valley beginning to move off. Temperatures in the 30s for Roseau, Baudette, and Bemidji. 40s elsewhere. We have 50s in parts of northern South Dakota. We do have a freeze warning for our entire viewing areas. Temperatures quickly slide into the 30s tonight with the north wind. Those Friday night football games, no matter where you go, will be brisk. The good news, I guess, if we could pass it off as good news, is that there won't be a lot of wind. Now, we have that freeze warning overnight, so remember to protect your plants outdoors. They do things like disconnect those garden hoses from your faucets so you don't have problems there. Stick around. I'll have details on a chilly forecast for Saturday that could include flakes for a few of you. I'll have details in a minute.
All right. Thanks, Hutch. It is Friday, and that means it's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 31-year-old Brandon Moran is wanted for aggravated domestic assault and a parole violation. His picture is right there on your screen. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on this man. A Can-Do woman is behind bars after authorities say she had sexual relations with a teenage boy. 51-year-old Lisa Swenson was arrested yesterday for corruption or solicitation of a minor. That's a Class C felony that could result in 5 years in prison or a $10,000 fine. The North Dakota BCI and Towner County Sheriff's Department investigated the case. One man was arrested after leading Grand Forks police on a chase that ended with a crash. It happened before 1 this morning. Police say 20-year-old Holden Myers of Dunseith refused to stop when officers tried to pull him over. He drove out of the city on his motorcycle, lost control, and took off running before he was arrested. He was hurt in the crash, but we're told is expected to be okay. He is facing multiple charges. Facebook says almost 50 million user accounts have been compromised by a security breach. The company says hackers exploited its View As feature, which lets people see what their profiles look like to someone else. CEO Mark Zuckerberg says there's no evidence that the hackers misused any private information. Facebook says it has taken steps to fix the flaw and alerted the FBI after discovering the hack on Tuesday. The company says it does not yet know who's behind the attacks or where they're based. faced. A former Fargo Force player, an active duty officer with the Air Force, is said to need the force of modern medical miracles to fight a big battle. Chad Demers was diagnosed with stage 4 glioblastoma, a type of brain cancer that's very difficult to treat, and we're told a cure for it is nearly impossible. Valley News Team's Maddie Gelseth has his story.
What? It's all right. At least we can still have fun.
Chad Demers was doing lesson planning for his ROTC class on September 6th. That's when he noticed he was having cognitive issues and trouble with word recall.
That day, the symptoms got worse, and I went in to find a number to the clinic at the Air Force Base, and I looked down at the computer, and I couldn't read the keyboard.
That's when Chad called his brother, who rushed him to the emergency room in Grand Forks.
About an hour later, after a CT scan, they said, "You have a brain tumor."
So it was really shocking and scary.
He went into emergency surgery to remove the tumor the following day. And that's when the Demers' life turned upside down, when they found out that the tumor is cancerous, a grade 4 glioblastoma.
Thankfully, I also have what's called an IDH mutation, which it helps the patient respond to treatment better, and it's been proven to prolong life and has a more favorable prognosis.
That's the only good news they've had in these very difficult times. And it is good news. It means they have some time.
It's not possible to become cancer-free with a glioblastoma, but it's possible to keep the cancer in hibernation for as long as we can.
Chad starts treatments Monday. It's complicated and expensive proton radiation therapy and chemotherapy.
I'll do radiation 5 days a week for 6 weeks. And I'll do chemotherapy. It is pill form for that entire 6 weeks as well, except that'll be every day.
Chad and Danica say they want to be proactive in this process. And in fact, Chad is in a clinical trial aiming to find a cure.
I want to do what I can to save myself and save others that are battling against the same thing.
Luckily, the Demers have a huge team supporting them, especially with their 6-month-old son, Bo.
Some of the days are tough, right? And they do get emotional. So it's always fun to come home to Bo or just have him there to put a smile on your face.
Danica says they're taking it day by day, and they can't thank everyone enough for all the support.
We always have a full team, full car usually, but it makes it easier. It makes it more fun.
Chad, his family and friends hope and pray that the force of treatments will be with him through this journey. Reporting in Thompson, Maddie Gelseth, Valley News Live.
A benefit hockey tournament is being organized to help the family with expenses, and a GoFundMe page is also set up. For more information or to donate, go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story to see the links. And remember to join us for our special coverage of the honor flight of North Dakota and Minnesota this weekend. This special mission shows appreciation for the men and women who have served our country by bringing them to the memorials dedicated to them in our nation's capital. Nearly 90 area veterans will be on the 2-day trip, including World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War veterans. The Valley Today's Lisa Bedeau has also been asked to ride along and share the veterans' stories on this emotional journey. The tour will start at Arlington National Cemetery, then stop at several memorials, and will also include a drive by the White House. The veterans will leave Sunday morning and will arrive back at Hector International Airport just before 8 Monday night, where people are encouraged to come out and give them a hero's welcome home. If you plan on doing some tailgating tomorrow before the Big Bison game, you may notice some drones in the area. The Unmanned Aircraft System Integration Pilot Program will be helping the FAA and the U.S. DOT collect data and demonstrate the safe use of drones while flying above people. The flights will help the UAS create policies to allow both media and emergency responders to one day use drones in situations that would bring awareness to the public.
Part of it is the policy side of it. You know, what are the situations where we can allow this? What kind of training does a pilot need to have? We're literally across the street from the Fargo airport, so there's coordination. How do we make sure that we're not interfering with other manned commercial traffic that's also flying in the area?
Some examples that were given include natural disasters, traffic jams or accidents, and public gatherings like marathons and parades. With hundreds of people facing homelessness in the FM area, one nonprofit organization has created an event to help raise awareness in the community. The Golden Drive began 5 years ago and has expanded to taking over Bonanzaville in West Fargo. While there are various activities to take part in, like the silent auction, bouncy houses, and carriage rides, the Golden Drive's mission is to get people talking about this important issue.
We really can make a difference. This, like I said, this whole thing wasn't never created with money. It was created with one crayon and passion, and you always have to believe. The hope is that the community keeps the conversation going.
The Golden Drive is tomorrow from 11 in the morning until 6 at night at Bonanzaville in West Fargo.